Welcome back to another tropical forecast, everybody, by Asian Weather Forecast. And in this video, we're going to be doing a hurricane outlook and discussion and looking at could the Atlantic start to be blowing up once again. We already have 4 disturbances and 1 Invest 99L there off the Lesser Antilles. So we're really watching out for the possibility for the last coming days of August and first coming days of September to possibly be rather active. So really watching out the potential for maybe a couple named storms in the next coming days, up to a week and a half. We could be seeing a good amount of activity here. So we're really watching out. We'll be looking at the conditions, looking at the details on Invest 99L. Could these could these disturbances have potential? We're gonna be looking at all that in today's video. Before we get in the video though, please subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button and the post notification icon to show your awesome and amazing support here. Without further ado, let's get this tropical forecast. As you see here, we're definitely seeing a good amount of potential incoming activity here. Just by looking at the 5-day tropical weather outlook, we already have 4 disturbances here, and actually one just popped up, and it has the highest chance for development, and this is a 70% chance for the next 5 days here. This is actually a area of broad low pressure off the coast of northern Florida here, potentially to become or form as it goes into some very warm waters off the east coast. Going to be seeing very little shear here, not that much dry air. Actually, it's going to be very moist. So really watching out. Maybe this could be something. Obviously, can't really name it, but if it does become named, which it has a very high chance, this would be Nana here. So could it form? In the next 48 hours left of September, or will it form in the first days of September? That's exactly what we're really watching. But this has a 50% chance within the next 48 hours, and a couple of models do show this actually forming here. So obviously, really keep this in mind as it does have the highest probability. And this wasn't even here yesterday, so they definitely have a lot of confidence here. Also, we have our disturbance number 1, but this is actually now Invest 99L. It has a 30% chance within the next 5 days and a 20% chance in the next 48 hours. So it's rather low, but a couple models I believe do show this forming as well. And this wouldn't be like doing a Marco where it kind of goes like this. I don't think so. It's kind of going to be possibly just going straight just due west into possibly affecting Central America. So this really wouldn't have a huge future. As we check out now, disturbance number 2, this also has a 30% chance in the next 5 days and a 0 in the next 48 hours. So based on this, the first days of September could definitely be rather active here, because this could be named by then and still living. If this does have a future, if it gets named, it will be September. If this has a future and it gets named, it will be September. And then we have a new disturbance here that just came off the coast of Africa with a 20% chance in the next 5 days. We will definitely see this possibly becoming maybe a concern, or just keeping this in mind. But all of these disturbances will have to be kept in mind as we get in the next coming days of September as well. Let's take a look at the sea surface temperatures here, SSTs here. For the northern Atlantic, see exactly are the conditions water-wise favorable to withstand a tropical cyclone. We all know that the waters have to be over 26 degrees Celsius to withstand a tropical cyclone, tropical storm, or hurricane, and then I believe it's like 25 degrees or 24 degrees Celsius to withstand a tropical depression. As you see though, as we are getting near a La Nina status here, or an official La Nina, waters are expected to really warm up. Not only they are expected to warm up because of La Nina, but because obviously September next month is the peak for a reason, because that's when we have the warmest waters. But as you see, really the MD are starting to see a huge warm up in waters now, starting to see 28 degrees Celsius off the coast of Africa, starting to see some spotty 29 or even 30 degrees Celsius for a portion of the equatorial Atlantic. So really watching out for some huge warm-ups here. Really, a big concern is that we're actually seeing a huge warm-up right here between Florida and Bermuda, and that's actually where we have this that disturbance there. It's got very warm waters ahead of it, 29 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius for some little areas. So this is actually why this could be Nana. It has a very high chance, and it actually does. The National Hurricane Center has a lot of confidence. This wasn't even a disturbance yesterday, and it already had a 70% chance. But in general, seeing very warm waters here. So we have one disturbance off Africa right now that has a 20% chance. We have one in the Lesser Antilles. We have one right here, and then we've got one right here. So a lot of MDR potential. So as you see, this one expected to go to Central America, and then the one right here could possibly go just north, and the one right here can go slightly just north. So really going to be seeing some concerns for portions of the Western Atlantic. I want to say concerns just if you're in the Caribbean or Central America coast, which is a Western Atlantic. I would just keep in mind maybe the potential to keep a look on these systems, whether they're big or who knows if they even form. But I see really warm waters, 31 degrees Celsius, spotting up the western Gulf. Water starting to warm up ever since Marco and Laura passed by in the Eastern Gulf. Their waters are trying to warm up a bit, and really starting to see these really warm waters. Though the trend right now is the very warm waters between Bermuda and the Caribbean. That's where we're really starting to see this big trend of extremely warm water. So if these systems do somehow, or these disturbances do somehow possibly get named, then there will be possibly, keep in mind the chance maybe it could thrive, or maybe the conditions are favorable for them to withstand and maybe even strengthen. So here's looking now at the whole Atlantic here, the whole Northern Atlantic, and as you see, here is Invest 99L, which is that disturbance number 1 with a 30% chance there. Here we also have that incoming disturbance right here off the coast of Africa. It's actually just a little spot of convection, not much, not really extremely important. Then we have that one, I believe, right here with a very little convection. Then the one off Florida, I don't seem to find. I can't find that one anywhere. I mean, it has a 70% chance, and I can't even find. I know it's definitely right here, but I can't find the convection. I can't find the organization of this so-called disturbance here. So that's what's really confusing me there. But you can definitely see 99L. Definitely see what they're looking at here off the coast of Africa. You can kind of see what they're looking at here. Not really. And then you can't even find where that 70% chance is really. We will see, though, if it kind of pops up and blows up a convection here. Because it is a defined low pressure. You can't seem to find the convection or the circular formation around this low pressure. So here's looking now at Invest 99L. And as you see, it has actually a rather good amount of convection on this. So obviously, we now have Invest 99L, and this actually did just pass the Lesser Antilles here. Obviously, it's not the most organized, pretty scattered with convection. One little there, one there, one there. Obviously, it's not the most organized, and really, it only has a 30% chance in the next 5 days. And will it actually hit Central America in the next 5 days? I mean, does it have time to form into a named cyclone with a tropical storm? That's the question here. I see a huge potential with this. I do see maybe the chance for formation increasing a tad throughout today, maybe to a medium probability next 5 days. But it does have a rather decent convection signatures for portions of this low pressure. So just going to keep in mind what we have here. So actually check out visible high resolution here and see actually if it does seem to have a decent formation for an invest. Obviously, you can expect much from a kind of 3 day old and 3 day old disturbance here. But I can kind of see the path. We actually do have those spotted areas of convection here. You can kind of really see those areas of convection starting to blow up here. Obviously, it looks decent. I mean, it looks decent for a disturbance here. Now you see, I mean, it does have those nice fluffy clouds. So that's something that we are seeing here. Also seeing an interesting feature right here. That's pretty interesting. Really interesting here. That's actually extremely interesting what that has there. But this actually doesn't look too shabby for an invest. It doesn't look too shabby for an invest here. But really just going to continue to monitor this. Going to really watch out as maybe it could start to kind of be less open, kind of start to, I wouldn't say close off like LLC, but like start to kind of close off those big areas of like open space, trying to find one defined center, not convection all over the place. I mean, that would be very interesting to see if this invest could pull that off here, and then that could very well increase the chance for development. And yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna be looking at. So we actually have an intensity guidance here on Invest 99L, and this just became Invest not too long ago. So we only have 3 models tracking this. What I find shocking is that they all 3 show this being a tropical storm in 24 hours. I mean, that I can't really picture that. This has a 30% chance right now. And if you look at it, I mean, it's not too shabby looking. It has a good amount of convection, decent structure for an invest. I just don't know if it can pull off the winds, really. I mean, it could have the structure in 24 hours, but will it have the winds? I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously this could very well delay, but I'm pretty shocked that all 3 show 24 hours here, and all three models show this getting to a category 1 in 72 hours. And that would be extremely shocking to see. I mean, I wouldn't say I see this being a hurricane. I wouldn't even say this would be named in 24 hours. I mean, really, it has a low probability as of right now for a reason. This didn't just become a disturbance. It's been a disturbance for. This is disturbance number 1. It's been the longest lasting disturbance we've had right now currently on the website. I believe three or 2 days we've had this disturbance. So really just shocking here to see all these models, or all the models that are on this right now, which is only 3. I know. It's just shocking that not just one shows tropical storm or hurricane. They all 3, but really gonna monitor the probability. Maybe this could have a better chance to develop into a tropical storm in the next 5 days. By the end of today, maybe a 40-50% chance. It all really depends on this thing could start to work on its structure. So here's like now at the probability for development in the next 48 hours, and as you see, this system or disturbance off Florida right here. So I guess that's where it is apparently. Has a 50 to a 60% chance for development within the next 48 hours. So as you see, it kind of has a huge blob of potential areas of development here. And they're very confident, a 50 to a 60% chance in the next 48 hours, and expected just to go out to sea here. It really wouldn't impact any land in the United States here. Maybe a couple thunderstorms for the Southern Carolinas. I really don't see much happening in the United States. This is just going to go one of those out to sea storms, just like what Josephine did. Josephine was out to sea for basically all of its life. And then we obviously have actually a 40 to 50% chance here based on this in the next 48 hours here. And like I said, this is just expected to possibly go out into Central America. Not going to be doing what Marco did, where it kind of just went like that. We're not going to be expecting that with with this. It's kind of just going to possibly just go straight to Central America here. Maybe if it goes to the Bay of Campeche, it could become something interesting. But as you see, though, they do have 2 spotches. So if it doesn't develop here, it can develop right here. So 2 spotches here. So it has a chance right here, and it has a chance right here for the next 48 hours. And as you see, this has a 30 to 40% chance in that second spot here. But this first one has a 40 to a 50% chance. That's quite interesting here. But those other 2 disturbances off the coast of Africa and the MDR don't seem to have any chance in the next 2 days. If we now look at the next 120 hours, you can see that that disturbance off the Florida coast near the southeastern United States has a 40 to 50% chance. This seems to have a higher probability, though, at a 50 to a 60% chance. This has a 40 to 50. This has 50 to 60. And then these 2 right here off Africa do seem to have a 20 to a 30% chance. So that could possibly increase here. Very interesting. We actually have a little spot right here off Africa, Mexico, that has a 50 to a 60% chance. I think even a 70 to 80% chance. Or a 60 to a 70% chance right there. That's very interesting. But you see, monitoring these 2 areas, or monitoring these 3 areas right here. Kind of really monitoring these general areas for something to go through. Obviously, kind of monitoring these general areas here. So you see a rather start to maybe a second wave activity here. Like we saw a huge wave with Josephine. That brought Josephine. We had Marco. We had Kyle. We had Laura, all in that pretty fast span. So that's maybe a second wave here. We do have 4 disturbances here, and I mean at least 2 have a potential future, whether it's a weak tropical storm or moderate tropical storm or whatever it is. It does have a future possibly to be named, but I mean we're gonna obviously monitor that very closely as we get in the coming days. Let's go check out the conditions here. As you see, we all know that we have a pretty general, very favorable MDR right now. We have very little shear. Actually, some areas have up to 0 knots here, which is why I'm saying there's a potential that these things off Africa do maybe have a potential chance to go increase in probability, because I mean there's very little shear, and this is actually coming off a monsoon here, a big area of moisture. So drier shouldn't be an issue next coming days. Shear shouldn't be an issue next coming days for the MDR. So really just monitoring these systems here. And then obviously we have this one off the Carolinas here in Florida and the Southeast. This also has like very little shear next coming days. And also this one into the Southern Caribbean also has basically no shear at all. So definitely doesn't seem like shear should be a problem with any of these systems. As you see though, really interesting what this shows here. You're going to be seeing something interesting here. What is this? What is the European model trying to show here? This is very interesting here. That's quite incredibly interesting. This is actually the next 102 hours. Seems like they are showing 2 storms here, or 2 systems based on the European. That's very interesting here. You can definitely see because they had that little area of that little low pressure right there in between that shear, and that shear is around less than 20-ish knots. So that's very interesting here, based on the European. But as you see though, we're gonna be seeing in the coming future here very little shear for portions of the Western Atlantic. That's gonna be some rising concerns for storms that can pop up in the Gulf or anywhere in the South and the Western Caribbean per se. And even gonna be seeing some big widespread spots in the MDR that have very little shear. So that's gonna be a pretty big concern for long track storms that can develop in the MDR and thrive. Obviously, some concerns here for storms to possibly just develop out of nowhere or become a disturbance out of nowhere and just pop off and kind of develop. You know, that's exactly. We're just gonna be watching that, because there will be a very little amount of shear for general areas here where we are keeping a close eye on. Let's check out the relative humidity here. Now, like I said, that's these 2 disturbances off Africa. They're coming off a big tropical wave, and you see a lot of moisture here, at almost 100% humidity here. Very humid, very wet, so drier shouldn't be an issue. Like I said, neither is the shear. We see also that one off one off the southeastern coast of the United States also has above 100% there for humidity. Very interesting here, because there's not going to be any drier or shear for that one off the southeastern coast. That could be very interesting, has a chance to be named. But look at the MDR, very, very moist, extremely moist actually for the tropical Atlantic here and the MDR. So that's actually very concerning here, because we already have 2 disturbances right here that are going to be moving in this general area very soon, and it's going to be very favorable. Really no shear, ton of moisture here, so really it's just a matter of time. Could that dryer take it apart or no? But I mean, just look at that. This is just a massive tropical wave. You're seeing that there's a lot of vorticity and spin right here. That's very interesting. The next 192 hours. But yeah, as you see, definitely going to keep in mind the potential for some favorable conditions in the next coming days for some of these disturbances to possibly form. Let's go see what the model. So as you see, GFS shows a 1,008 millibar system right here off that Lesser Antilles, and that's actually that 30% chance disturbance, or 99L. And then they also show very soon here in the next coming hours that one off Florida in the southeastern coast. As you see right there, 1,012 millibars, and they get to possibly below 1,008 millibars. And then GFS kind of takes that one near the Lesser Antilles. We kind of follow it, kind of takes it to Central America and goes into the Eastern Pacific. But GFS does have 3 low pressures. We have one there, and then one there. And then we obviously have that one that kind of, the one that has a 70% chance right now. That'll probably be most likely pretty dead by then. But 1,007 millibars low pressure right there, not too far off from Hispaniola and Jamaica. And that's very interesting. That's actually neither of the disturbances we have right now. So that's very interesting here. And as you see, kind of very interesting track. A GFS kind of showing like a boomerang like track for, I believe, that one with a 30% chance or 20% chance. That's coming off Africa, up to 7 millibars, 1,005 millibars. So it does show a decent amount of storms developing. And not only that, it shows another one off Africa there, possibly developing there. Look at that, 1,004 millibars, 970 millibars there. So you see, it seems like the GFS is showing at least 4 named storms, by at least four named storms by, what is this, September 15th. That's based on the GFS. Obviously, doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Check out the CMC here as well. What the CMC shows. As you see, the CMC shows that one off the Lesser Antilles off South America in the next 12 hours, 1,008 millibars. They also showed that one that coming off the southeastern coast. That's also very possibly convenient. But look at this. Like you see, they do show the 2 low pressures off Africa as well. So they're all showing really these same systems. But you see, CMC gets this one off Africa ahead, that third disturbance, or sorry, that second disturbance, up to 1,004 millibars, and then it kind of just blows up to 997 there. So that's also something to really watch out for. And then CMC also shows that one with a 20% chance off Africa at 1,004 millibars on September 7th. I mean, and also they show 1,009 millibar low pressure heading toward Louisiana. I mean, we're possibly going to be heading into a potential very, very active beginning of September here. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and bye guys.